Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Art2Heart in the Art2 International Show. And today I'm really honored to present to you Dominique Albinski, who is a Polish artist, sculptor. He creates these figurative sculptures that emulate human and animal nature. He's an award-winning sculptor who uses clay, molten wax, and bronze with a very unique approach to sculpting, and this enables him to achieve an impressive, realistic sense of movement and still living spirit into his anthropomorphic and animal representation. And welcome, Dominic. How was that presentation?
Welcome. Thank you.
Well, so excited to have you. You are one of those artists that we have worked with throughout the years and follow your success, your journey, your creative genius. Tell us, I always want to know, and I think the public is always curious about it too. How was your journey? How did the art bug started in your life? Was it when you were a child?
Well, it was when I was a child. It was when I was a child. I went to art classes, and then I thought, this is what I want to do in life. I thought this is what I really want to do. Then I went often on safari in Africa, and then I came back and I made the animals which I saw on safari in my workshop. And I thought really, and they were very, very beautiful. And I thought, okay, I want to be a sculptor when I went to these art classes.
Wow,
I want to be like Rodin.
And it's like you fell in love with nature since then.
Yeah.
So that's your subject pretty much. How do you develop your sculptures? Where does the concept come from? Like, how do you present?
The concept comes from images that are stored in my mind from my childhood in Africa often. Images of animals, of elephants, of rhinos. Often they are human figures, which I have encountered in Europe, in America. Sometimes there are some kind of image which I have seen in the street. Then I transform this in clay or in wax or in bronze, and give my own interpretation to these figures. Of course, animal figures are have been the best, most popular of my sculptures, but recently I have done more human figures.
And what is that feeling of your favorite material? Because I know clay is so special. There's like a communion between the artist and the clay, right?
Yeah, I made my first elephant out of clay and I brought it to an art gallery in France, in Normandy, and a few weeks later it was sold for quite a lot of money. And since then I've had this I've been exhibiting in Normandy, in France, in America, in La Rochelle, in Bordeaux, in Tours, Le Mans, in New York. And it has been this pleasure of using the clay which has communicated my excitement for making animals or people in wax or in clay, and then casting in bronze.
Beautiful. So are you working on a specific project right now?
Right now I'm working on a specific project. As I say, most of my sculptures are in collections in Africa, Europe, or America, and I'm working on a current portrait of a woman. I have a model, luckily enough, and she is posing, and I'm doing a portrait, a full figure, life-size figure of a woman.
Wow. How long does that take? That's quite a big sculpture.
That is a very big sculpture. It has taken me a lot of time. Sometimes I do it very fast, just a few weeks, and the effect is very good. Other times I have to work very hard to obtain a good effect to my work. So it varies. Sometimes it takes a long time, sometimes it's shorter.
So where are you right now? Where are you based?
I'm in between Poland and South Africa. I
Oh,
have been recently in South Africa for 6 months, working at my studio in Cape Town. And now I'm at the Academy of Fine Arts in Warsaw. I'm working on this figure. In Johannesburg, in Cape Town, I made a dolphin, a pair of dolphin, which was inspired, of course, by the Cape Town weather and the ocean, which is also part of my childhood and something I often return to. And well, I have taken these. Now I'm back in Europe. Of course, the weather is not so great as in South Africa,
yeah.
and but still I have these images in my mind of animals on safari, of the bush, of the African wildlife.
Well, that life sounds fascinating to me, being in Cape Town.
Well, my first real connection with art was as a boy, and then I came to Paris as a student in Paris, and I really enjoyed all these, going to museums to see all these great French artists. And so probably my art is African, but is also universal, because art must speak to the soul.
Yes, yes, exactly. And that is so true. But let me ask you something. How is this pandemic affecting your work and people around you where you are?
Well, definitely I'm concentrating more online because of the pandemic. I do have a few exhibitions planned, but more online. Of course, it's an advantage and a disadvantage. For an artist, it might be even an advantage, because not many people are going out so much. You're more indoors. You have to concentrate on your work, on your sculpture, and not so much on other things.
Yes, it is true. So it really has taken the distraction out, and we are more focused on work, on how to do better what we're doing. And I think that's for everyone, and me included in that. I guess you're very active now on social media, and well, this interview is going to be on social media. For those for young people out there that are also a lot on social media nowadays and are going to be watching this interview, what would you tell an emerging artist, someone who's studying, they're young, in their 20s, late teens, and they want to become an artist? What would be your advice?
I would say never give up. Never give up. If you believe you have talent, then your work will definitely be appreciated.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks so much for your time. Before we
Okay.
go, where can we go see your artwork?
Well, you can see it in many collections in New York, in Paris. You can see it even in Poland, some of my artwork. In many collections. Now my art should be going to all the art shows in America, Art Basel, New York art show, Miami art show. So my artwork will be traveling a lot in the USA. Back in South Africa, my artwork is visible in a few private galleries, and of course online now.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Dominic. It's been such a pleasure interviewing you, and I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be enjoying this
Me,
interview and checking out your artworks.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Bye.